Okay, great. So we're recording now. So just to start with, can we get a quick confirmation from everyone with a thumbs up or a verbal yes that you confirm that we can share this video publicly?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. And because I didn't do it on the last video, Maria, do you mind confirming that we could share the prior video publicly that you came in on late? Can you just confirm that and that's from our research team meeting from today, October 12th. So yes, you confirm that we can make that video public? Okay, great. Thank you, Maria. Okay, perfect. So continuing right where we left off, let's start with Katie, because Katie, you have not that many hours and senior positions. So I want to get clear on your hours within our list here. And then we can go ahead and go on to the others on the team. So Katie, you've got 6 hours total, and can you walk us through how you're foreseeing that? Actually, do you have it pulled up on your computer? Can I let you share so you can walk us through? Great.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So
yeah, we can see it.
Cool. So I was going to allot 1.5 hours for creating the slides, and then 2 hours for composing the presentation. And then I also had, and then I was going to do 1.5 hours for figuring out ways to include experts, and my final 1 hour for producing content with the experts.
Okay, great. So let's just walk through each of those just to kind of imagine what you're imagining in terms of the time and make sure that we're being as accurate as we can with that. So for creating the slides, so can you tell me how you're envisioning using that 1.5 hours, Katie?
I guess mainly making sure that we have all the content that we want on there, making sure we cover all the points, especially if I'm going to be composing the presentation. I want to make sure that everything on the presentation makes it onto the slides somehow. And then also, if I have time, helping out with the images and setup.
Okay, cool. So the way that I'm seeing this, and everybody can kind of tune into this, this is not just for Katie, this is like, you know, trying to figure out how we manage all of this. We have, you know, Katie and Alexis that are co-leading, which means they're being responsible for what the output is going to be. Okay, so that's what it means, just to be clear with everybody. That's what it means to be a co-leader, is that you are being responsible. You're actually being 100% responsible. There's 2 of you being 100% responsible. So let me make that distinction first of all. It's not that like one of you is responsible for half and the another person's responsible for the other half. You're both responsible for whatever gets created. So this whole slide presentation, Katie's 100% responsible, and also Alexis is 100% responsible. Does that make sense to everybody? So if there's any kind of whatever, it's not that Katie says, oh, well, Alexis was doing that part, or Alexis said, well, Katie was doing that part. It's nothing like that. It's like everybody has to be responsible. The leaders have to be responsible for what gets done. Okay, and there's not anybody to blame, so to speak. It's great that we have Sabah giving 2 hours. We have Johnny giving 3 hours. Renasia is going to give some hours. I think we're going to divide those up amongst other tasks, because I don't think we have 10 hours for creating the slides. I'll give you guys some examples of the previous slides so we have an idea. I guess I should do that first so we can have a sense of what the slides can be like, should be like. So let's start with that, and then we'll kind of figure out. I'm going to start sharing, Katie, and then we'll figure out based on the allocation of the hours from all the different people, then what it's going to look like in terms of how you're going to be using your time, Katie, and how everybody's going to be using their time producing the slides. So let's start with the slides from the last presentation, the Johnson & Johnson presentation in February. Oh, here it is. I was looking up here. Okay. So here's the presentation. Okay, so this is what the presentation looked like. So just an intro slide. We were talking about preventing health inequities. So you can see that for the slides, it's primarily like a couple of bullet points, okay? You can't get too like fancy with a lot of information. I was taught this, the first presentation might have had a bit much information. This has quite a bit of information. So this is even more information than you want to present on a slide in general. This is pushing it to the max. This even is kind of pushing it to the max in terms of like a lot of like words on the slide. We have to keep it, more minimal. So again, this is like maximum amount of information you want to have on a slide, a few bullet points. Again, so I'm kind of pushing the limit on each of these slides, but I'm giving you guys a sense so you can see that we have, 7, 8 slides. So here's, a graphic, here's just some graphics as an end slide. So between the one slide, the end slide, and the one slide, the beginning slide, in this case, we had like 7 slides. In this case, one of them like a graphic, but 6 of them just like text and primarily bulleted text, right? And for us, it's also going to include like quotes and like who it was quoted by and what like the hyperlink is like this, where people can actually go to see the actual quote. So in terms of, that's why I'm saying, just to give you guys a sense, that I don't think, Renasia, there's going to be 10 hours for you to put into this, maybe like with everyone else on here, maybe like 2 or 3, something like that. So let's even be generous. Let's say 3 here in Asia, and you'll find other places to put those other 7 hours in all of this. So now that we know that Sabah, Johnny, Renasia, thanks Renasia for that acknowledgement, for the thumbs up, that Renasia, Sabah, Johnny are going to put in, 2 to 3 hours each, as well as Alexis and Katie are then going to be kind of like allowing each of these people to put in time to develop the types of slides that we were just looking at. And then Katie and Alexis are primarily going to be overseers, right? Like Katie, you can give, guidance in the beginning as much as you can to the others about, what you're looking for. And you and Alexis can work together to say, hey, we're looking for a slide that says this and breaks this down into bullets and these bullet points and this quote from this article, whatever it looks like, almost kind of like, giving marching orders as much as you want, but allowing, the people that are the supporters to put in the hours to put all those together so that you can show up more of like, proofreaders, checkers, making sure everything is the way that you want. It's going to be more of a managerial role in that regard, as the co-leader. Of course, if it's being too cumbersome, this is the challenge that we have. We only have 2 days to do this, which is, again, ridiculous. And that's where we need to get this across. But with these 2 days to do this, does it become more cumbersome of a process to try to manage people? And are you spending more time trying to manage getting the, the slides done than it would take just to do the slides yourself. That's the challenge that you're going to face a little bit. So if you were imagining spending, an hour and a half, I'm talking to Katie now, but this is, again, I want everybody to hear it the same way for the different things that you've put down. If you are imagining putting an hour and a half into actually creating slides, then what I recommend you do is you reserve as much of that as you can to the end of the process, so that if you don't have the slides that you're looking for, that you still have time left to actually create the slides that you want, by the end of the process. Does that make sense? And, Alexis, with having 3 hours available as a co-team leader, has more time to be in contact with people and more time to be doing, quality control and managing the process of getting the slides that we want done. So Alexis, it's really going to be on your shoulders more than Katie, because you have more time to really be more of the hands-on manager of that process. Does that make sense, Alexis? So you and Katie, will just work together to really, do your best to keep in mind who has time, who can do what. I've kind of given you guys the sense of it, of how to be co-leaders in this process. And then it's really going to be, up to Sabah, Johnny, and especially Renasia, since Renasia can add more hours at will, essentially, at this point. But Sabah and Johnny are going to be, pretty much restricted to 2 and 3 hours. That, Katie and Alexis, you give Sabah and Johnny, really good directions about what you're looking for and how they should be using their time in order to, hopefully get exactly what you're looking for out of them, along with Renasia. And then if you need more and you need more help, then you can maybe ask for, Renasia to do more, again, leading up to the deadline. We'll probably have to set some kind of interim deadline where Katie, you and Alexis are getting what you want to see by, let's say 5 p.m. on Wednesday evening. I don't know what your guys' time will be available, from, then until the end of Wednesday night, but whatever time window you need to be able to say, okay, what do I have on hand? What has everybody produced? What do we have as a current output? And what do we need to do to tweak this and get this to where it needs to be to, be what we need for the presentation? So does that make sense to you guys? Does that sound like a good process for you too? Okay, yes, and Alexis, yes. Okay, so then Katie and Alexis, what would you say would be the deadline that you need from the team in order for you to, let's say each of you maybe hold and reserve an hour of your time, if possible, to, from the time that you get the product of the rest of the team at this time that we're about to set, whatever time that is, and gives you another hour to work on it and figure out, and get it to more final. What would be that deadline that you guys need?
I guess I'm in Mountain Time, so I can probably go later than Alexis. But I guess for me, it'd probably be about 7 Mountain Time, so that'd be 5 Eastern.
Okay, so as long as you receive everything by 7 Mountain Time, then you'll still be able to put an hour in and polish it up?
Yes.
Okay, and Alexis, are you able to, well, we kind of need to coordinate. So if that's the latest for you, Katie. If that's the latest for you, that's what we'll make it, because we need to kind of all be on the same page, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to go later, I would, but yeah.
That's your comfortable later, that's fine.
Yeah.
So Alexis, that works for you by 5 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. you'll have what everyone's final is by then, and then you'll be able to put in at least an hour with Katie. Maybe you guys can like coordinate so that you're doing that time together. And actually, I'll probably coordinate to join you guys on that time. So that's going to be, I kept saying, was I saying Wednesday? It's Thursday, if I said Wednesday at all. So it's Thursday that we're talking about, Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And so is it right at that time, Katie, that you would want to put in your hour right at 7 p.m. Mountain? Or what's the time that you would put that time in so we can maybe all do it at the same time?
Well, I guess I could put like a little bit in as like a halfway check. Maybe do like my half hour as a halfway check and then do the hour 5 p.m. on Thursday now.
Okay, so it would be, so yes, the half hour you would be doing along the way, you'd be working with Alexis, you'd be helping to guide things, right?
Yeah.
And then for the hour to finalize everything, you would do it right at, we can like say we'll meet on Zoom at 7 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Does that work for you?
That works, yeah.
So Alexis, oh, but that's, you're not available yet then, right, Alexis?
I get off at like 5 on the dot. So, I mean, do I have to can I be driving while I'm doing it, or do I need to be like?
Not really. Down? What time do you get home, Alexis, or what time was the earliest that you'd be available to work on it for an hour?
I usually get home like 6 at the latest. It just depends on traffic. Like at the earliest, I can get home like 5:30. At the latest, I can get home at 6. And then for me to actually sit down, I don't mind talking on the phone while I'm driving, if I can do that, because everything that I'll have done, I'm gonna get it done tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be more a matter of looking at what the rest of the team gets done and figuring out if we need to adjust it and talking about it. So it really is going to require you looking at the computer, and you know, you can't be driving while we're doing this part of it. So is 6 p.m. Eastern, would you be able to get on the computer and work with us at that time, or would you still need more time to get settled at home, or what's the earliest you could be available for that?
I usually would need at least like I can try to make it work. If I come home, it probably will take me like 15 minutes, not even 50, maybe I'll say 15 at the most, to like set up my laptop to actually look. Or is that too late?
If it's Thursday, we have our team meeting.
Oh yeah, we do.
From 6 to 7. So could we just do it after that or before?
Yes,
that's fine. I don't mind doing after.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a point that we all should have been.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Be aware of sooner. Okay, so yes, we could do it after our team meeting from my perspective. So does that work for you, Alexis, to just go straight from our team meeting into it? And then what we can do, okay, great. And then what we can do is, you know, I can do everything possible to finish our team meeting by 7, which I think we can do. I can't, knowing that we're trying to fit this in, I think we can make that work. So let's set it up that way. So we're starting at 7. We're planning to finish by 8 Eastern at the latest. So we'll go with that plan. Does that work? Work for you, Katie? Work for you, Alexis? Okay, great. So now it's just a matter of the other 3 agreeing to that deadline. So we'll check in with Sabah and Johnny, but Renasia, does that work with you to have your part of these slides finished by, by our team meeting by 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. So then Alexis and Katie, at least you and I will continue on Zoom after the team meeting. Renasia, you are certainly welcome to join us, and we'll also extend that invitation to Sabah and Johnny, and really anybody that wants to join us. But that'll be, I think, will be a good way for us to manage this process. So I think for that, for the slide creation, I think we've covered it now. Is there anything, any other details or any questions or comments that anybody has about the slide creation portion? Okay, thank you everybody for your patience in going through all of this minutia detail to work this out. I think this is the important things we have to do, and what we're doing is we're learning how to micro task. That's one of the things that we're focusing on now, and this is essentially that. We're breaking these things down into these micro tasks that each person can work on. So it's really great and it's really helpful, and we'll get better and better at this as we keep doing it more and more. So I think now we've finished Katie's hours. So we've got Alexis, Renasia, and Maria left. I know Maria had created an agenda for us, and Maria, let me stop sharing for a moment. Maria has very graciously agreed to continue leading the production team for at least another week. So thank you, Maria. Let's take a moment to acknowledge and thank you for that. Really appreciate that. I want to give you a moment to share about the agenda. We are going to come back to continue what we were just doing with Katie and do that with Renasia and Alexis and you, Maria. And we may go over 8 o'clock a little bit. We're rushing to finish this up. Let me just first ask Renasia and Alexis and Maria, do any of you have to leave right at 8 p.m. Eastern, or can any of you stay a little bit longer to finish this up?
The
I have to
latest
leave
time
at
I
8.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Okay, Renasia needs to leave at 8. What about you, Alexis?
The latest time I can stay is 8:15.
8:15. Okay, great. And what about you, Maria? You're okay for staying a little extra? Yeah. Okay, so let's since Renasia only has 10 minutes left, then let's finish with Renasia first, and then we'll go into the other things that we were going to get into. And then Renasia, please just check the video as soon as you can. I'll see if I can publish it tonight so you can check it as soon as you can, because we will cover some other things that we'll want you to know about regarding the production team. So, are you able to share from your computer, Renasia, and walk us through your hours?
I'm not on my computer. Actually, I'm on my phone because I couldn't get on my computer right when the meeting started.
Okay, no worries. So I'll do the sharing and just walk us through, and you can talk us through. So you got 20 hours this week, which is amazing, Renasia. Thank you so much for making that many hours available to us this week and contributing that. That's awesome. So we really, as we've talked about, we really want to use those hours in the most effective way possible. So right now we have 3+ here. Let me just add them up quick so I can see how you've allocated them. So 3 + 5, that's 8+. And then down here we have another 5, so that's 13+.
Yeah, I still have 7 hours left.
I'm sorry, say that last part again, Renasia.
I still have seven hours left.
Still have 7 hours left. Okay, perfect. So let's look and see, even like if we need as many hours as you have for each of these. I want to make sure we're not over allocating as well. So for composing the presentation, Katie's going to spend a couple hours. And again, Katie, this is going to be where you're going to be you know, again, like the final edit, the final cut sort of thing. And you're going to be giving a lot of guidance, as I will as well. I probably need to put myself in here just because I'm going to have so much input on this for the things that, you know, I'm going to be saying in particular. So let's put me in for, well, I'm gonna be optimistic and put myself down for 2. So I think Johnny, Renasia, I think this is probably good at the moment. I think that I'd like to see, we'll get to Maria. Maria, you've got 20 hours. I would say, have you, well, we'll look at all of your hours in a little bit, Maria, but can I add you onto this to help compose the presentation as well?
Yeah, sure. I just have like in 2 tasks.
Yeah,
so still like, I think that is too much, like 10 and 10. So yeah, it's fine.
I'm sorry, you had, what did you say?
That I just have like 2 tasks. So yeah, 10 and 10 is like a lot. So yeah, it's totally fine.
Okay, yeah, we'll do a little more juggling once Renasia gets off. And I apologize, I'm going to have to make some more tea because my throat is getting too scratchy. Let me put in a throat drop real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if I can manage with the throat drop. If not, I'll have to run out in a moment. Okay, so Maria, let's just add you for 3 hours here, let's say. And Renasia, we'll leave you there at 5. Okay, so Renasia, for figuring out ways to include experts, I think, Renasia, if you're willing to put 5 hours into this, then I'd like you to be one of the leaders if you're willing to do that. Does that work for you, Renasia?
So to figure out ways to include experts, what exactly would I do for that particular one? I just want to ask questions.
Yeah. So this is the thing, is that here's one way to include experts, is that we can have them participate in the polls. And then another way we can include them is we can interview them. And another way we can include them is we can have them on our panel discussion.
Okay.
And another way we can include them is we can host video content that they give us. Mm-hmm. We can host written content that they can give us, and we can do social media postings with them. And there may be other ones. You guys can come up with new additional creative ways that we can engage the experts. But you're seeing some of the top examples of ways that we can include them. And then it's a matter of, you know, again, so if we're going to have panel discussions, we have to come up with the questions. If we're going to host video content, we have to figure out how we're going to do that on our current website, you know, those sorts of things. So the main thing, it's going to be the polls, we already came up with a new way tonight, which is provide feedback on our presentation, right? That was what Johnny suggested at our last meeting about ways that we can engage the experts, right?
Yes.
So that gives you a good enough idea of basically the whole range of ways that we're including experts, Renasia?
Yeah, I get it now. I can be the co-leader for that.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you for taking that on. That's amazing. We'll have to see if we can find another co-leader for you, but I think that's a good use of those hours. And let's leave it at 5 for now. I'm not sure that you'll need 5 for that. I'm kind of thinking maybe it's going to be more like 3, but you know, let's make it a 3+ because I want to get as accurate as we can. And I think that with Katie giving an hour and a half, Alexis giving 2 hours, and Johnny giving 4 hours within here. So actually, we need to say that Johnny is giving 4 hours here. And you guys see how it's, you know, we're kind of breaking it down. Like overall, Johnny's supporting figuring out ways to include experts with 4 hours. And the way that's broken down is 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. Does everybody see that? So that's why we want to include Johnny here so we can see everybody that should be down here. So really with the supporting team members with Katie and Alexis, you guys should probably figure out where to put your hours amongst these things down here as the breakdown, how to break down your hour and a half and how to break down your 2 hours. Katie and Alexis, you guys can do that amongst these different options, polls, interviews, panel discussions, etc. And then continuing with Renasia, because you have to leave in a minute, I see Renasia. Is there anything else that you wanted to put hours into on this sheet offhand, Renasia, or should we just continue the conversation one-on-one tomorrow?
Yeah, we can continue the conversation one-on-one tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll look over that tonight to see what else I can contribute to.
Okay, that's perfect. See where else you think you can do it. Send me a message on WhatsApp to work out a time that you and I can connect tomorrow. And it's 8 o'clock, so go ahead. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. See you later, Renasia.
Good night, guys.
Night. Okay, great. Oh, so, okay, Katie, you need to head out. Okay, great. Thank you, Katie. Great to have you here. We'll see you later. Thanks for everything. Okay, great. So now with Alexis and Maria, let's go ahead and well, so you guys are good for a few more minutes so Maria can share the other stuff about our production team meeting, and then we can go back to your hours, Alexis and Maria's hours. Does that work?
I was just gonna ask, can we go over my hours now possibly? I forgot, I have to give my son this medicine at a certain time.
Okay, yeah, I understand. That's okay. Maria and I will do the other stuff on video and everyone will watch the video later, so it'll be fine. Thank you, Maria, for your accommodation of that. Sorry that you didn't get more opportunity to run the meeting this week.
Thank you so much, yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's now continue with Alexis. Okay, so Alexis has 12 hours. Let's check the chat here real quick. Okay, thanks, Maria. It's fine. Got the chat. Okay, so Alexis, you have 12 hours. Let's just run through real quick. We have 3 hours for creating the slides, which is fine. Nothing on composing the presentation. Then we go down to figuring out ways to include the experts, and you have two more hours here. So that's 5 out of 6, right? Alexi, 12, I'm sorry. Okay, so 5 out of 12. And then, is that it so far? Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's it. So that's it so far, Alexis. You have 5 out of 12 allocated, so we've got 7 more hours to figure out where they can go.
What does composing the presentation, what does that entail? Is that what that, well, no, it's already enough people on now.
Yeah, that's going to be basically just working on the script itself.
Okay, no, I won't do that one because it seems like it's already enough people on that one. Can you scroll up so I can see what else is open?
Yeah, so there's all this stuff around the media, if there's anything that you want to do regarding the media. And then the other is engaging the experts. So we still don't have, well, anybody leading that. I'm just thinking now that maybe I'll talk to Renasia about leading that. Maybe I'll talk to Johnny about leading that since he's already engaged. Maria, I think this is where you can also lead, especially being on outreach. So can we add you while I'm looking at it, Maria, to leading this? Okay, and then we'll figure out the hours in a minute. So ways to include the experts. You've already got 2 hours for that. Compose invitation, that's really more specialized for like outreach stuff. So it's not, I mean, if you're interested, Alexis, that's fine, but it's not, you know, what you're normally doing. You wanted to say something?
I was saying maybe I can, if anybody needs help, like with anything, I don't mind being like a floater.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be, is that a thing, like being a floater if somebody needs help?
Yeah, that could be helpful. Yeah, we can set that up. The other thing too, I think, is producing content with the experts, because this is where, you know, we're going to have some video editing to do and that sort of thing, potentially. So I think, okay. I think I'd like to add you to that as well, and even like, you know, 5 hours if that works for you. Does that work?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just remember, on Friday I won't be available.
You won't be available on Friday.
Right. Yeah. So I'm available tomorrow, all day tomorrow. I'm available on Thursday as well. But Friday I won't be.
Okay, that's good. When you say all day,
with anything? Oh no, but it's the presentation is Friday at 11 anyway, so we'll be done on Friday.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You were saying all day tomorrow. Do you have your regular work tomorrow or not tomorrow?
No, I had to take off because my son is sick, so I have to stay home with him. So I'll be home tomorrow, mostly. So I'm gonna try to literally get everything that I can done tomorrow. That way on Thursday when I get off, I can just see what needs to be like placed together.
Okay, good. I really appreciate you mentioning that. It's very helpful for us to know. So good for you to know, Maria, that Alexis is available tomorrow, and for everyone else on the team. Can you, Alexis, can you share that later when we're done with the meeting in our combined, actually just because we're all working on this together at the moment, why don't you share it in the full team chat to let everybody know that because you're going to be home with your son tomorrow. Tomorrow is your day to do as much work as you can for the presentation, and that anybody, you know, and anybody that's doing any work, you're also helping to be a floater for people. So anybody that needs help and you want to coordinate with people on all the tasks that you have, it's all going to be happening tomorrow, basically. So can you put that message out so that, you know, more people will engage with you and we can get more stuff done sooner rather than later, which will be great. That'll be like a new thing for us. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. So, okay, so I think then we had 7 hours left for you. We just gave 5. So let's just say we'll add the 2 for the floating at this point. So let's just, I guess let's put it up here since I don't know where else we would put it. So let's just say floating Alexis 2. Does that sound good? So that gives you, just to do the math again to make sure we got it right. So that's 2, 5, and then another 2, that's 7.
No, that's 9 because it was 2 up there and then it was 5, so that was 7. This makes 9. 2 for the floating, 5 for the other one, right? 5 for.
Oh, so we gave you too many hours? Wow, so I did the math wrong. So I said you had 2 for floating, but we had already allocated all 12. So.
Oh, okay, I see 2 for floating, 3 for co-leader. So that's 5. Okay, no, I did it wrong. So that's 5 at the top. This makes 7. So 2 right here is 7. And then we have 5, so that's 12.
Okay, perfect. So that's what we're looking for, right? Okay, perfect. So let's leave it at that for now. You have a good sense of what there is for you to do with each of them, Alexis?
Yes, I'll reach out to Katie. I'll send her a message on WhatsApp to see how she wants to go about everything, just so we can kind of get the ball rolling. At least if not tonight, at least tomorrow, to see how we're gonna start it off. Do you know how many slides, like realistically, that you would want?
Yeah, I didn't, you know what, I'm glad you mentioned it because I wanted to show you guys the other presentation too. I'll just share it quickly if I can.
Okay.
This is what it looks like. So this was the first presentation that I did in December. So remember, I've done 2 presentations to the FDA Advisory Committee already. So I showed you the second one in February. This is the first one in December. So again, just an intro slide, another kind of intro slide where I mentioned the members. Then I got into, like, you know, sharing these headlines along with, you know, telling them that public trust is necessary when there's all of these, you know, headlines undermining public trust. And then again, just a little bit of information and showing them example of what we did. And then another little bit of information and then another graphic. And then again, another closing slide, and that was it. So really only like 4 slides of content here, really only like 3 that are real content. So it's a very minimal amount because there's only so much you can do in 3 minutes. Now we have 5 minutes. I would say that in 5 minutes, probably the most slides that we should have would probably be, well, if you include our intro and you include our outro, so let's include that total. So let's say probably like 12 is probably going to be the most, but probably not even that much, you know? So I'll let you guys kind of figure it out, but you guys can get a sense. I'm sorry, say that again, Alexis.
I'm sorry, I was saying I think 12 may be a lot for 5 minutes.
Right.
Maybe like 6, maybe, because if it's 6 and they're like lengthy, then I feel like that'll take up more than enough time. Then of course, I know you won't read like verbatim. You probably do some improv.
It's gonna depend because we have a lot of different things that we want to talk about, and we might want to include a lot of different quotes and comments and that sort of thing. So it may be a little lightning, like going from this to that, and we may even have 15 or even 20 slides that we're just like going through really, really fast. I doubt it, but it's possible just to put all that information together for people, and even to say, hey, you know, we don't have the time to show you all of this now, but we want you to have all of this information. So we're, you know, all the links are on the website, and we're just going to zoom, and you can pause the video and you can go to our website. But here's, you know, here's this slide, here's this slide. We could even do that. So we're not going to restrict it. You know, it's true that to make it more comprehensible and more readable and all that, it's just going to be less slides and less information. But you know, we're not going to necessarily restrict ourselves to that if we find that there is a lot of stuff we want to share and it's effective that we do that. Get it? Yeah. Okay. So I think at this point, you've got enough to go with. I know you got to get going. I think, like you said, Alexis, go ahead and connect with Katie as early as you can tomorrow. It may only be you know, 6 slides or something like that. You guys will see as the team starts to come together and work on it. We're going to have to compose the presentation even probably before the slides more. So you may have to wait a little bit on that, but we'll give you what we have and we'll work on that. But since you're working with Katie as the co-leader creating the slides, definitely reach out to her as quickly as you can on that. And then also, you know, you're also oh, you're down here with supporting with this. So go ahead and support with producing the content as well. I thought I saw you co-leading with Katie as well. Maria, did you switch that around? No? Okay. All right. So that's perfect. Okay. My mistake. So, okay, Alexis, you're co-leading with Katie around creating the slides. So that's perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Any questions or anything you want to say, Alexis, before we wrap up?
No, I'm okay so far.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Guys.
Yeah,
no
have
problem.
a great night.
Same to you. Thank you. Bye.
Awesome. Yeah, great job. Thank you so much for everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you. No problem. Bye.
Okay, great. So Maria, we're down to just you. So let's go ahead and let's do the hours with you really quickly. And then also let's, you know, cover the agenda and the other things that we wanted to cover. And then we'll wrap up. Okay, so Maria, you've got 20 hours for the week, which is awesome. Thank you so much for that. Actually, I apologize. I do need to get some more tea now. Can I pause our video and stop recording for a couple minutes here and come back in just a couple minutes? Does that work for you?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're recording again. So actually, why don't you share your screen so that you can walk through your hours and how you see allocating them this week.
Okay, for sure. Okay. So here, no, actually, okay. So, so I have 20. Let's see. Okay, so here, 3 for composing the presentation. That would be mainly like the text, right? Yeah, the text, not the visual pictures and all of that. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, that's going to be the script.
Yeah, exactly, the script. Okay, so here I am as a co-leader, so I should have some over here, right?
Yeah, right. Some different some different ways that you are helping to include the experts. But even even before we get into all of that, let me ask you for what's above in terms of the outreach to the media. What are your thoughts around that? Because I would have thought that you would have been interested in that from the outreach perspective, but I see there's
let me show you. No, let me show you because I actually put, okay, compose invitation to experts. It's kind of for the outreach. Here, engaging, reach out. You mean this? I can put myself. Yes, for sure. Because also like produce content, yeah, that's more about like production team. So I can put myself over here if you want now. Yes.
Well, I do want to talk about it. But the other part, what I was actually just saying was not the expert part, but the media part.
Mm-hmm.
The media, the second section. If you scroll up above experts.
Okay, here I have 10. Mm-hmm. The media.
Yeah, see, that's engaging experts.
This one, right?
Yeah, if you scroll to the top of this one, where we're talking about, seeking media attention. So seeking media attention, creating the press release, selecting the media, contacting the media, following up with the media. Are those things that you're interested in, or are you not interested in any of those things?
I'm interested actually. Yeah, I can do it. I don't know which part would be better for me.
Well, that's what we can talk about, but that's what I want to understand, since you didn't, select any of that. I was a little surprised because I thought that you and Mariana were really going to be taking this part on, and that you guys were going to be, kind of leading it together. But I didn't see, you guys engage in it yet. And I haven't seen Mariana, she hasn't shown up in this document yet. So we need to connect with her and see what's going on. As the leader of the outreach team, she should be leading a lot of this, right? So
yeah, I was going to tell you about that. Sorry, I was going to tell you about that. And yeah, that's true. I talked with her the other day and she didn't have internet because she was on a road trip. So maybe she forgot. Yeah, I can talk to her and remind her, because she for sure can have some parts on this.
Yeah, well, we've set up our outreach team meeting now for 11 a.m. tomorrow, right? So, and she and I are
11
gonna,
or 10?
I'm sorry?
Is it 11 or 10 or 10 a.m.?
I'm pretty sure that it's 11 a.m. tomorrow. Let's double check on that to make sure. So can you stop sharing your screen for a moment while I'll share mine and we'll confirm it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay, so I do want to confirm because that is important, but I'm pretty sure that I put 11 a.m. Oh, I put 10 a.m. How did that happen? Wow, thank you for saying that, because I thought for sure I put 11. I think I must have mistyped that. Let's have a
yeah, that happens.
Except that the 0 is not next to the 1 on the keyboard. I definitely just I mistakenly put in 10 and I meant to put 11. Let's see if the team can meet at 11. I know everybody already said they're good for 10. Okay, great. Part of the reason to do that is because I'm meeting with Mariana at 9 a.m. So that would give her, after our meeting, an hour for her to prepare for the outreach team meeting, which I'd like to give her time to do that. So let's see if everybody can do that. Okay, so now that we talked about that, so let's go back. Works for Sabah, that's good. So so the other part is in terms of, like, being responsible for the whole FDA presentation, I thought that you and Mariana would be the two people that would want to take responsibility, the outreach team and the production team. But neither of you, put yourself in for being responsible for the whole presentation. So I was a little surprised by that. Is there any reason that you didn't want to take more of a leadership role on that?
No, with that, I was basically like confused. I already saw like when I entered, like, yeah, when I clicked on the document, I saw already Katie and I was confused and I was like, okay, I don't know what this, and I just skip scrolling basically. So I can help as well. Like if she's doing like 6 and Salah is doing 10 and they need some help, I can also help them. I have no problem with that.
Okay, I think just to clarify, in the future, when you, are uncertain or you have questions or you're not sure, then please ask questions, okay? Because we need to have everybody on the same page around all of these things. So I do appreciate that you're willing to, help some with it. And I think that you will be helping a lot. I'd like to see you help a lot, in terms of being a leader. This is, what we talked about as part of, giving you a chance to be the production team leader for a week or two. Like, this is the best way that you can demonstrate your leadership, is leading us through this process, right? And especially, like everything that I've been doing with filling out all of these hours from all of these people, it's something that that honestly you or anybody else could have done, for me, essentially, right? We didn't necessarily have to take this time in a meeting to do all this, right? Like you or somebody could have said, hey, we need to get this done. Jared doesn't have time to manage this. Let me go ahead and reach out to all these people and figure out who's going to do what and get all this done. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to talk about this on the meeting, actually. Like tell them what their task was going to be and all of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I apologize again that we didn't get to really get into the meeting itself the way we had planned. I should have just let you open the meeting, but we were so, in this mode and people had to go. And anyway, let's take a breath for a moment so that you can share more of what you wanted to share in the meeting. You can share the agenda, you can share what there is to share. And then when you're done with that, we'll get back to your hours and figuring out how we're going to divide everything up.
Okay, perfect. You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Do it.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry again that we didn't get to have it be more of a normal meeting where you got to, really talk and lead. I apologize that that didn't really work out.
Yeah, it's fine. We are all all over the place, so it's fine. Like that happens. So, okay. So I had some notes as well, because since last week, we didn't really do what we said on the meeting. I was like, okay, let me do some notes to also cover the last week's agenda. So for this week, I thought, I was seeing the document of the presentation, and I saw that Katie and Alexis were going to work on the visual elements of the slides. Right now, this agenda doesn't really make much sense because I did it previous to this meeting. So I have now more tasks to do basically. So Katie and me, we're going to conduct interviews and panels. It's basically what is on the document. And I also put some time to also work on last week's agenda, as I just told you, because we did not do basically anything. let me show you the Google Doc. I mean, the Word document. Can you see this? The Word document?
I see the agenda right now.
Okay, let me, okay, now yes. Okay, so,
Yes,
because this I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to put like some notes to like tell them, oh, you can do this and you can do this, as well as the tasks of this week, basically. So we'll still have to formalize our system for processing videos. I think that this week we should maybe just focus on the presentation, since it is so important. But maybe we have some time. I don't know, because the week minutes are already set for the presentation. So I'm not sure about this, but I'm just gonna explain it really quick. So yeah, we have to formalize our system for processing videos. I also thought that it could be a good idea to like have by this Thursday, post one reel to Instagram and one short video to Facebook from an important clip taken from a meeting. So what they would have to do is actually like talk with the team leaders from each team, of course, and then decide on what are the minutes that are more important, like for the project, and then choose on the clips to edit and post. They would have to look at the minutes for that, and yeah, the minutes with all the tasks after talking to them. So also we need to select the 3 music tracks from each source. I was trying to, open the document that they sent for that, but I don't have access. I don't know why. I asked for the access, so I still need to have that.
You
so
have access.
Also we need
you have
to
access to our Google Drive, right?
Yeah, I do, but
Okay,
with that document, it was not allowing me.
So that document, I don't think is in our Google Drive then, and we need to make sure that everybody always puts documents in the Google Drive. Sometimes people create their own documents, but we can't have people sharing their own documents from their own drive. Even if they want to use their own drive to create a document, then they have to copy it onto our drive and share it from our drive. So
I'm going to tell Alexis, because Alexis was the one that shared the document. I'm going to tell her that.
Okay.
Okay, so also contact past members for assistance. We said that on it was not on the agenda, but we covered that last week. Maybe we can still have, yeah, for basically like assistance with processing videos. Also, Alexis told me that she told you that she found like a stopwatch on Zoom, but the terms you guys are not like decided with that. So, a person maybe could be assigned to a stopwatch through their laptop, because I don't think that like their phones are a good idea for that, because maybe they can get a call or a lot of notifications. So the stopwatch will not be working well, basically. So we'll still need to be able to find an app for maybe tomorrow. I was going to say, but no. So yeah, for this week, what I already said before.
Yeah, everything you wrote there is really good and important, and thank you for pulling all of that. And we do definitely want to follow up with all of those things. And like you said, at the moment, they are all getting pushed onto the back burner by our presentation. So at this point, I think we're going to keep all of the hours and all the focus on the presentation like we have. I think once the presentation is done, then we can take an assessment and see if there's any hours left from many people that they didn't use yet. And then we can start to divide them up amongst these other tasks that we have. Does that sound like
awesome? That's a perfect idea. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, great. So, I really appreciate that. Yeah. Anything else you want to share?
No, from here that will be all. You want me to go to another document to share another page?
What do you mean by that?
Well, yeah, the presentation one, right?
Yeah, we can go back to the presentation document and finish up with that. The other thing that I wanted to say that I'll put down on the video now, you can stop sharing for just a moment while I share this, and then we'll finish up with your hours with the document, is that I just created this new video as I was sharing with you earlier. I'm going to send it to the team either tonight or tomorrow morning for the team to see this new video. And it's going to be a new video for us to produce in a better way. I'm just making a rough draft. I'm pretty sure I'm even going to reshoot even just the me talking part, but I think it's a good rough draft and it gives new information. Like I said, the 5 breakthroughs that we're providing to the world. So I hope it'll be interesting. We'll see what feedback we have. So that's a high priority on our plate as well, in addition to the FDA presentation. Let's finish the FDA presentation, then we'll look at that video along with everything else you just shared. But you can put the new support video in the agenda as well as something that we're going to give attention to this week.
Okay, awesome.
Okay,
so
great.
Let's go back to this.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's wrap that up as quickly as we can. I know we've gone on a long time, and plus everybody is going to have to watch this video. It's very long, so let's get it. Let's all get it wrapped up as quickly as we can.
Go to the top.
Yeah. So again, you've got 20 hours to divide up, however, which is great. I think at this point, so let's see how you've divided up the hours, but let's start adding some hours to the. Well, I think, to be honest, what we need to do is we need to connect with Mariana, and we need to see what she's going to be willing to do before we get into the media part of it. Reach the whole. If you scroll down a little bit, the next section, the second section. I have to fix that blank page there, right? Yeah, right there. Seeking media attention. So you've got a bunch of hours. Mariana has a bunch of hours. If you guys are willing to take some leadership and put some work into each some of these, then we can actually do this, which I'd like to do. This is an important part of all this. It kind of defeats the purpose a little bit if we go and do all this work to have an FDA presentation, but then we don't get any media attention. We don't get any benefit out of this national exposure, right? So we do want to do this. So I think at this point, because we're going to be having our outreach team meeting early tomorrow, let's take a pause, you and I, right now. Let's pick this up in the outreach team and see what Mariana is willing to put hours into, and then we can have a better idea of where are going to be the best places to put your hours as well. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's going to be the best way to wrap this up right now. So let's do that. Let's plan that. Are you available to meet for a little while after the outreach team meeting tomorrow? Once it finishes, then maybe you and I can spend a few more minutes to go back into this. We might finish it all up in the outreach team meeting, but if we need to spend more time, just you and I going into your hours in this, let's do that immediately after the outreach team meeting tomorrow. Sound good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, and we'll wait and see, because right now everyone's agreed to 11. Well, you are able to make, they agreed to 10. We know Sabah is able to make it 11. Are you able to make it at 11?
Yeah, it's better actually for me. So,
okay, so let's just make sure that Mariana can make it at 11. At the moment, we have to keep it 10 because we don't have her confirmation yet. But let's see if we can get her confirmation and make it 11 instead. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, Very good. I really appreciate it, Maria. I really appreciate all the flexibility and all that you're doing to make all of this work and to step up all the ways that you need to and want to be able to, you know, lead the production team, especially with all that we have going on right now with, you know, the FDA presentation and everything, to try to kind of scramble to get ready for it. Thank you so much for all that you're contributing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, great. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
You too. See you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.